Well, it looks like we're live. It says it's starting. So carrying on from from my post the other day about blood sugar. How do you know when your blood sugar is balanced, and what are those telltale signs that your blood sugar is out of balance? And also, thank you so much for all of your wishes. I was feeling really low yesterday, and the Frankie Goes to Hollywood song on the radio, The Power of Love, just sent me into a blubbering mess, missing home so much. Thank you for all of you who've reached out to me, because I feel so much better today. All right, so this week we've been talking all about blood sugar, and how do we know that the blood sugar is out of balance? Because in clinic, I see ladies who are accidentally overweight, bloated, feeling tired all the time, not sleeping well, generally just feeling pretty yuck, and they're bloated, they're accidentally overweight, and and they're feeling like they've got achy joints. Okay, so all of those are telltale signs that that your blood sugar may be out of balance. So things like if you've got joint pain, if you are struggling with joint pain, then it could be that your stress, the cortisol kicking off in your body, is causing the release of insulin. And when you have the release of insulin, then that can cause inflammation, because we have this excess insulin, and we can become insulin resistant, which means like insulin is almost like the key to the door. And when the key to the door doesn't fit anymore, that's insulin resistance. So if we have a lot of stress, then cortisol enters the bloodstream. And when cortisol enters the bloodstream, insulin is released to help deal with that cortisol. And insulin is a fat storing hormone. So when we have too much insulin being released, then that extra energy gets stored as fat, and that can cause inflammation in the joints, and the inflammation causes pain. So if you suffer from any sort of inflammation, it could be the link between the cortisol and the insulin kicking off. Now, if you have any sort of skin troubles, rashes, eczema, acne, then that again is inflammation. All right, so the body tries to protect itself, and if you're consuming too much sugar, then your body will react in the form of inflammation, and inflammation of the skin looks like psoriasis, rashes, acne. So that is a inflammatory response to a poor microbiome, because when we have too much sugar, the gut microbiome and the oral microbiome becomes imbalanced, and that can be the result of unstable blood sugar. If we're feeling tired and sluggish all the time, then certainly, feeling lazy, feeling sluggish, can be a sign that blood sugar is out of balance. So you want to be feeling, active and energized enough to do the activity that you want to do. And if you've got a healthy blood sugar, then you'll be able to do that. But if you have an imbalance in the blood sugar, then, feeling that tired, feeling sluggish in the morning, feeling like you're waking up unrefreshed, can be a sign that the blood sugar is out of balance. Now, if you crave sugar all the time, of course, that's a telltale sign that the blood sugar is out of balance. So especially if you have craving salty and sweet things around lunchtime, or as soon as you finish your evening meal, you're really craving sweet things, that's not ideal. That's a bit of a telltale sign that the blood sugar needs a bit of attention. If you're struggling with losing weight, and no matter what you do, you can't lose weight, again, blood sugar balance. If you need to urinate really frequently, that can be also a sign that the blood sugars are out of whack. And if you have a thirst that you just can't quench with water, another sign. Also, if you're struggling with brain fog, ladies, perimenopause, menopause, brain fog, if you forget words, if you just feel like you feel quite not very sharp in your focus, and you become really fatigued in your mentally, then that's also a sign that blood sugar needs a bit of attention. Okay, so how do you balance your blood sugar? There's a couple of different ways. You may have heard of time restricted eating, which is about eating between a very specific and consistent window every day. So you may eat between 8 and 6 or 10 and 7. All right. And the rest of the time you're fasting. So that's no late night snacking and no snacking in between meals. So you've heard me talk about this before, that phase 3 of digestion, that migrating motor complex. That's the sweeping through, that's a tummy rumbling feeling you get. And it usually happens the last 10 minutes of a 4-hour non-eating window. That's really important to cleaning out the microbiome, that good balance of bacteria in the gut. So that's really important to balance blood sugar. So not snacking all day long. All right. So making sure you're having plenty of water, making sure you're having 3 solid meals with fat and protein at every meal is really important for balancing blood sugar. Now, the easiest way to get fat and protein into your diet is, that I know of, protein powder. So good. This is my favorite. It comes in chocolate, it comes in plain. You've heard me talk about it before. It is amazing. Like, it helped me lose the lockdown weight, the 5 kilos that I put on in the last lockdown. Essential amino acids, all organic ingredients, which I love. Lots of kale and spinach, but plant-based protein. So this is vegan protein powder. And all I do in the morning is I put a scoop into there with water and the Superfood Plus, which has got digestive enzymes and probiotics in it. And I mix it up with water and I drink that for my breakfast. Now, sometimes I'll have meal replacement. Sometimes I will have something to eat as well. Like this morning I had a little bit of fruit salad and I had my protein shake. And some mornings I will have, some veggies and some salad on the side and some sauerkraut, which was my breakfast yesterday. And then I have the protein shake as well. So I'm making sure I'm getting fat and protein earlier in the day. And that helps me stop craving the chocolates, mince pies and everything else that's on offer later in the afternoon and the evening. All right. So it's about getting that fat and protein earlier in the day. Now, if you're really worried, if you cannot lose weight, you're feeling really sluggish, you're aching all the time, then please reach out to me, because I can test your blood sugar. I can request a well woman check, and I can check thyroid and I can check blood sugar. And that may be the first port of call, because if your blood sugar is really out of balance and you are heading towards insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, then, there's certain things that we can do to remedy that before you become too unwell. So, and the tests can get turned around really quickly. So if you are not getting the help that you want through your doctor and you want to get some private tests done, then they're super quick, very reliable. I can organize a private nurse visit to your home, so you don't even have to go anywhere. Okay, so if that's something of interest to you, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on replay, do #replay and let me know. Are you struggling with any of those symptoms? Are you struggling with weight, becoming accidentally overweight? Do you have joint pain? Do you feel like thirsty all the time? Are you just craving like crazy salt and sugar? And let me know. Put something in the comments. Put a comment in the comments. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. And have a good weekend, because we're getting closer. What is it? We've got 9 days. How's the Christmas shopping going? All good fun. We're doing edible, environmentally friendly, and either homemade, edible, or environmentally friendly gifts. So it takes a lot of pressure off. So we're upcycle or homemade or recycle, or not recycle gifts, but we go to charity shops and get things from charity shops, or it's got to be homemade, or it's got to be edible. And we are making some really cool treats. Like, I've got this recipe. Thank you, Vicky. I've got this recipe for Toblerone cheesecake. Whew, it's going to be amazing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.